Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the match here on WWE 2K25. In this one, we have got Test and Albert representing WWF. For WCW, we've got Chuck Palumbo and Sean O'Haire of the Natural Born Thrillers. And for ECW, we have got Ron and Don Harris, the Bruise Brothers. Right, this should be interesting. I'm not even sure how much we've used these teams in the past, or even just singles competitive, to be honest with you. So let's have a quick look. So Test and Albert as a tag team. Yes, we have used them. No, we haven't. They're on the ranking system, but they've never been utilised once. So they're on there with 0 points, of course, from 0 matches. I mean, even just in singles competition, Test, we have used 3 times. He's lost all 3 matches. We haven't seen him since 2022. And then Albert, we've used once back in 2022. And he is +4 from that one match. So he must have had a pretty damn good run in a Royal Rumble, I would imagine. So yeah, it's a big opportunity for these two then. So Test has been used 3 times. I have no idea what I used him in, to be honest with you, but there you go. But yeah, the first time I'm ever going to see him in the tag team division as well. They were quite a strong tag team for a short period of time. I mean, it was probably very much a situation of creative's got nothing for you, so let's slam you in a tag team together, I suppose. But if it works, it works. So next up then, we have got for WCW the team of Chuck Palumbo and Sean O'Haire, the team of the Natural Born Thrillers. And this is the first time we're going to use these two as a... Is this right? Yes, the first time we're using these two as a team. We have used for the Natural Born Thrillers in the past. Let's have a look. Natural Born Thrillers. Yes, we have used in the past the team of Mark Jindrak and Sean Stasiak. But today we're going with Chuck Palumbo and Sean O'Haire. Mainly because I just wanted to utilise these two. They're both fantastic wrestlers again. Probably people who have not really had as much opportunities as they probably should have done. Sean O'Haire has had 2 matches in the past, both back in 2021. We haven't seen him since. And he is an amazing competitor. We just, yeah, we need to use these people more, don't we, really? And then Chuck Palumbo, we have again used only twice back in 2021, and he lost both the matches, so he's currently on -2. Sean O'Haire was on 0 after those 2 matches. And then we have got Ron and Don Harris, who we have never used before. These 2 guys are making their debuts, of course, representing ECW. Let me just check to make sure that they were not utilised as somebody else. Ron Harris is an English footballer. No, let's check for wrestler. Ronald and Donald Harris. That makes them sound terrible, doesn't it? Ronald and Donald Harris. No, I don't think, looking at the names, we've used any of these before. You've got Don Harris, Don Bruise, Jacob Blue, Heavy D, Jared Grimm, Patrick Skull, 8-Ball, Big Ron, Gerald, Eli Blue, Jason Grimm, Ron Bruise, my God. He goes by many names. So yeah, debut for these two then. So let's add them into the ranking system. Ronald and Donald Harris. Ron and Don Harris. These guys are the Bruise Brothers. Sounds like the Blues Brothers. Some Asian guys. As a tag team then, they were known as the Blue Brothers, the Bruise Brothers, Creative Control, the Disciples of Apocalypse, the Disciples of Destruction, the Bring Twins, the Harris Boys, the Harris Brothers, the Harris Twins. See, I want to say the Harris Twins, I remember. Was it the 2 bald guys? WWF. No, they were WCW. No, it's not who I'm thinking of. Who was I thinking of then that was in WCW? It was in WWF with the 2 bald guys. I'm thinking of Deuce and Domino, aren't I? I don't know why I'm getting these 2 guys confused with Deuce and Domino, to be honest with you, but there you go. They sort of retired then, more or less, after WCW went under. They were part of... After WCW, they went over to Japan. They did some work for All Japan. But apart from that, yeah, they're both retired sort of 2004, 2005 time. In 2002, the Bruise Brothers appeared on a TNA pay-per-view, both wearing Nazi SS symbols. Okay, that's interesting. They're former WCW champions, 3-time WCW champions. They probably would have been better off representing WCW, to be honest, but as I've said a few times, WCW was struggling for names, so we ended up utilising who we could for... Sorry, ECW was struggling for names, so we ended up using the guys in... I can't freaking talk today. ECW had a smaller roster, so we had to try and utilise them in whatever way we could. And it made more sense for them to represent ECW. There we go. The Bruise Brothers. Oh my god. What have I done? What have I done? I've broken the spreadsheet. It's gone. It's gone. Where did it go? What was doing? Okay. Oh, there we go. The Bruise Brothers. Okay. And it is Ronald and Donald Harris. So there is today's history lesson done and dusted. So this is standard triple threat elimination tag team rules for us then. No disqualifications, no count outs. Pinfalls and submissions in this one can count anywhere. Both members of the team need to be pinned or submitted to be eliminated. And the last man or team standing will be victorious. So effectively you can get eliminated first and still go on to win the match if your tag team partner is able to go the distance for you. The winning team will receive 3 points in the tag team ranking system. The 2 losing teams will lose a point in the tag team ranking system. And the winning team will gain 1 point each in the singles division, with both of the losing teams, of course, losing a point each in the singles division. I think that explains it all. This one for me, again, it's another one of these ones that could go any way. I would like to see the Natural Born Thrillers get the victory here. The Natural Born Thrillers to me, and this is going to sound crazy, right? This is going to sound really stupid, and I'm going to go for it anyway. Right? The Natural Born Thrillers, you had in there Chuck Palumbo, Mark Jindrak, Sean O'Hare, Sean Stasiak. You also had Johnny the Bull and Reno. I'm not 100% sure who those two are, to be honest with you. Johnny the Bull, Stamboli, who did some work for some other companies, didn't he? Yeah. And Reno, I know Reno, I just don't know what he was up to. Okay, he wasn't that great. But those 4, Chuck Palumbo, Mark Jindrak, Sean O'Hare and Sean Stasiak, they were very, very good wrestlers. They were very underappreciated. I know, obviously, Chuck Palumbo had a decent time in WWE as part of stupid tag teams and so forth. Mark Jindrak did a few things over the years in WWF, and again, I think he was very underappreciated. Sean O'Hare was, again, somebody who I feel like just wasn't very well utilised in WWF, to be honest, until leaving and going across to New Japan for a few years. And then you've got Sean Stasiak, who again had a decent run in WWF for a couple of years. But those 4 for me, and I'm going to say it, it's going to sound stupid, I know, but maybe not at the same level, but they've got the ring of the Radicals. You had 4 very good wrestlers that really they should have built the future around, and unfortunately it just never really worked out that much for them. I think Sean O'Hare especially was someone who was massively underappreciated at the time. And I think the one who was most successful in WWF, I think, to be honest, was Chuck Palumbo. And I mainly remember him for his run as Billy and Chuck with that tag team. That was a bit of a weird one, wasn't it, really? Chuck Palumbo, Billy Chuck with Rico. They threw him in the FBI as well, apparently, by the looks of it. So yeah, he did a bit of work with WWF during the Invasion time. He did Billy and Chuck from 2001 to 2002. He joined the FBI, the Full-Blooded Italians, from 2003 to 2004. He then left, went to the independent circuit, came back for a couple of years in 2006 to 2008. But yeah, never really went away for him, did it really? And yeah, Sean O'Hare unfortunately passed away back in 2014 as well. So it's a real shame. I think Sean O'Hare was somebody who was very underutilised, someone we should have seen more of. And I'd like to see more of him in our universe mode, to be honest. Again, not somebody we've utilised a hell of a lot, but every time I do think about him, it makes me realise how much we should be using him. Is there anyone else he worked for that we could work? No, it was just WCW, WWF. He did a bit of New Japan work there, that's interesting. 2004 to 2006, including wrestling Hiroshi Tanahashi. Wow, okay. Be a good one. Also, ooh, former kickboxer. Okay. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking underground, baby. Sean O'Haire, former kickboxer. I mean, let's not beat around the bush. He wasn't very good. He had 4 professional kickboxing matches and lost all 4. But in his MMA record, he has got 4 wins and 2 losses. So Sean O'Haire is somebody we can definitely involve in the Underground Championship division moving forward. Okay. You know what? I'm going to put his name down. Let me do a blank document for our blood sport, and I'm going to put on there. I might not be able to name it that, to be honest with you, but I might name it something else, just because of YouTube's rules and so forth. I'm going to put Sean O'Haire. It's just another one nice to use, isn't it? Right. I'm going to stop talking bollocks now. I'm going to get into the actual action, what's going on. Nobody's been eliminated as of yet. And at the moment then, in terms of the competition that we are doing, we do have ECW leading with 11 victories, WCW second with 8 victories, and WWF leading the bottom, should we say? Or bringing up the rear, that's the words I'm looking for, on only 7 wins. As Chuck Palumbo just gets chokeslammed. I'm not going to lie, I don't know which one's Don and which one's Ron, so we're just going to hope that it doesn't become a problem and I don't have to name them individually. Sorry, I just had a really random thought now. Where was Lord Tensai billed from? Lord Tensai was billed from... I just want to know where he was billed from, because if we do utilise him, could we... He was billed from Japan, so does that mean that Lord Tensai could fight for the All-Asian Championship? Or am I really pushing out the buck there? So Lord Tensai, by the way, on the ranking system is considered a separate wrestler to Albert, because they never... Although we all know that was Albert, don't get me wrong, when he was brought back, they never referenced in commentary or anything like that it was. So we treat him as a separate entity to Albert on the ranking system. That's how our ranking system works. If it's openly discussed, or if it's within the story that the wrestler is the same person, such as Mick Foley, then we count them all as one block. But if it's 2 separate characters that are not referenced at all, like Papa Shango and The Godfather, they never referenced that was the same person, therefore they're 2 separate characters on our ranking system. Does that make sense? I'm sure it does. If it doesn't, I think you're the problem, not me, to be honest. There's the power slam by Albert now on Ronald or Donald Harris. Pin now by Test on Chuck Palumbo. And that's our first elimination. Chuck Palumbo's gone. Okay. There's me thinking that the Natural Born Thrillers were going to go on and win this one. At the moment, the numbers game is against them. And that's the problem with these matches, as we've seen in the past. As soon as you get someone eliminated, it's very difficult, if not impossible, for them to go on and win it. It's all down to Sean O'Haire now. What Sean O'Haire needs to do is just survive at this point. Just survive, get one, even just allow them to get someone else eliminated. Just back away. Hope for the best. There's the power slam on Sean O'Haire, and that's not what he was hoping for. But then again, Test and Albert both taking the Harris brothers, or the Bruise Brothers, whichever you want to call them, all over the place. Albert now with the pin on one of the bruises. Not enough. Good tilt-a-whirl slam there by Test. Not enough. Still only a 2 count. Now, even though Chuck Palumbo has been eliminated, he hasn't necessarily lost the match yet. He'll only lose the match if Sean O'Haire is also eliminated. Look at that, just launching the ring steps across, and there goes one half of the Bruise Brothers. Okay, Now, what Sean O'Haire needs to do with the other Harris is work together to take out one of Test or Albert. If Harris and O'Haire fight each other, it's not going to work. They need to eliminate either Test or Albert from this match, and that way it just makes it a flat-out triple threat then and makes it a lot easier. And look at this, a choke slam attempted. What are you doing, Sean? Just leave it to happen. Test now with a choke slam taken down Harris. And there's the bicycle. The bicycle kick by Albert on Sean O'Haire. And it's looking like it's going to be a victory here for Test and Albert. They've been a pretty dominating team so far. I think one more elimination is in stone. Then as soon as it gets to 2-on-1, it is over. At this point in time, it's all down to either one of the Harrises or Sean O'Haire to get the elimination. It's not going to happen. The Bruise Brothers are gone. Ron and Don Harris then moved down to a -1 in the tag team rankings. And in the singles rankings, they both also moved down to a -1. And now it's just a matter of time, isn't it? You've got Test and Albert versus Sean O'Haire. And WWF needed this win, though. They were lagging behind on 7 victories. WCW on 8, ECW on 11. At least with this one, with WWF, they're now caught WCW up, but they're still 3 wins behind ECW. With some big matches still to come. Good work there. The referee and the ring steps completely blocking off Test and Albert from getting to Sean O'Haire. Albert sending O'Haire straight into the referee. Sean O'Haire, this is the problem now. The numbers game is just so much against them. Albert now with the boot in the gut of Sean O'Haire. Going to take him up. No, O'Haire flips him over the top, crash into the mat. If Sean O'Haire can eliminate one of these two guys and go on to win this match, it'll be one of the greatest turnarounds of all time. Testo stalking O'Haire up on the shoulders. Takes him down. That's going to be your pin, and that is going to be your win for the one. Referee, insult to injury, slapping O'Haire across the face, and Test and Albert have got it. Test and freaking Albert. Who saw that one coming? I mean, you had a 33% chance of seeing it coming, I suppose, didn't you? Right, so TNA get themselves 3 points from that one. So 1 point for the victory and 2 bonus points for defeating multiple opponents. That's a huge victory for them. The Natural Born Thrillers, Chuck Palumbo and Sean O'Haire, are going to move down to a -1 after 1 match. A shame. I really want to see them do well. Test then with that victory moves up to a -2 after 4 matches. And Albert with that victory moves up to a +5 after 2 matches. He's done great, hasn't he, really? Sean O'Haire then with that loss moves down to a -1 after 3 matches. And Chuck Palumbo is going to be moving down to a -3 after 3 matches. I want to see more than Natural Born Thrillers, to be honest. We'll have to wait and see. I think I am going to put a poll on. I've not done it yet. I'll try and get I'll try and get it done by the time this video's up. But my plan is for Rated RKO, the team of Randy Orton and Edge, to defend their YouTube Tag Team Championships this weekend. And I want to do it against 1 WWF team, 1 WCW team, and 1 ECW team. So I might put 3 separate polls up. So 1 poll for each of the companies, and you guys can pick which of the teams are going to go through. And I might put the Natural Born Thrillers on that poll for WCW, just because I want to see more of them. There we go then. Victory for TNA. Rankings are reset, and that now puts Test and Albert in a good position on the tag team rankings. They've got up to 25th now. And that's the way it is, I suppose. 3 points in the tag division is actually pretty high. They join Totally Buff, the team of Lex Luger and Buff Bagwell, who won last week, also on 3 points from 1 victory. So You know what? Good on them. They're in a bloody good position. And who knows? I might even put them on the tag. I don't know. I'll have to have a look, actually, yeah. I don't think Test and Albert are that popular of a tag team, but you never know. Right, I'm going to love you. Leave it in. Good night. God bless. I'll be the same. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.